This is Mari Lane from the Buying Space channel. Today I'm going to be talking about jars and containers. It's 2020, and a decade before 2020 we all knew that we needed to recycle and reuse. And now that we have been partially or fully put on lockdown at the beginning of the year, and people are opening up in different phases, and we all have to stand in lines at grocery stores sometimes not. We are getting the idea that maybe we need to be careful about what we put out for the trash. I've always loved recycling jars and reusing things. I've always tried to recycle. Sometimes I was in a situation where I couldn't, but I've always done my best to be conscientious. Now, these items I picked up for free from someone that knew that she shouldn't just put them in the recycle. So she's sharing her collection of used jars and bottles and other things to prevent it from going in the landfill, which is wonderful. So I've got this jar here. Now I can use this to put Crystal Light in it. It's got this lovely diamond pattern on it. Even though it was like an ordinary juice jar, it can absolutely be used over and over and over for drinks, powder drinks that you mix up. Now this honey manufacturer in Florida puts their raw honey product in mason jars. These have wonderful value, and they can be reused over and over, and you can buy lids for them and can food in them. One of the other things I loved about this jar haul was that a lot of the jars that she gave me had product names on them of products that I've wanted and went to look for. And these also have a bonus. They have the spout lid. And several weeks ago, my olive oil jar was beautifully decorated. It has a special top lid that you can pour out of, but it stays attached. That little lid broke. So, and there's no cap for it. So these have bottlenecks and caps, and these can be used for my olive oil, which will probably be the smaller one, and canola oil in the larger ones. And I can now buy, well, I could buy before, my oil in bulk and just fill the smaller bottles. I don't know, maybe I could put apple cider vinegar in that and have it close to my stove. And speaking of close to my stove, right now, what I'm using for my spices are these Tupperware containers. Wonderful hard plastic. These are vintage, so they're very durable, which is wonderful. If you can use a product for years, why replace it? But I will keep these. Absolutely. I also have a homemade shelf that my husband made for me to put those containers on that I don't have on my wall for some reason. But anyway, she had 6 of these jars, and they're lovely. The labels will peel right off of them, and they still have the lid. Underneath the lid, they have the spice pour container. There's a little adhesive left. But I want to put these next to my stove, excuse me, instead of the plastic, because if there's splatter or spill, especially if oil, hot water or oil or whatever is cooking, it could stain or damage these a lot quicker than these. And these are free jars I got, and if something happens to them, it's not as tearful as losing a set of Tupperware spice containers that I've had forever. And these are also some additional spice containers that don't match the set. Now this one is very similar because it has that square design with the rounded corners like the others, and I could use that as an additional, and I could put something different in that, like if I wanted to keep kosher salt and regular ionized salt both in these kind of containers, I would put maybe the kosher salt in the one with green lid, kind of thing. She also had these mayonnaise jars. And the lids for these jars would look wonderful in a kitchen for somebody that has, Martha Stewart uses this green in her design of her dishes. Also, Pioneer Woman. Fiesta Ware has a set that's in this shade. So you could buy jars that match your decor. Obviously, that have tops, or look for and source jars like that. This jar has a plain lid, which I really like. And, everything here, since food came out of it, it's food stable, food ready. And I'm going to put these all in hot water and scrub them with vinegar and baking soda after they soak. And when I saw this at Facebook Marketplace, I was just thrilled. These would be wonderful for food prep. And, this is not a canning lid, but I knew that I could prep tomatoes and tomato sauce. We chop up vegetables and put them in water and keep them 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator in cold water, and then we just strain them, and they're nice and crisp, and we can just go ahead and throw them in like the Holy Trinity, the onions and peppers and celery as your vegetable base. We don't use celery a lot, but the lid had the brand name on it, and it's painted on. So if any of you have an idea of how to get that off, let me know. There were 15 of these. Certainly I can't use all 15. So if I lose a couple lids, I'm not going to cry. And also, I was so thrilled with the item in the very back that was in the lot for free. And it's a pure water pitcher that you fill up, and I can put a filter in it or not. I prefer to put a filter in it, but right now I don't have one, so it's going to get washed up and put in the fridge without a filter, and that's fine. It's got a pour spout, and we just come pour our water. And also these tubs, these decorative tubs with hearts and lids, are good for